Hi, beautiful Sag. This is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your June 2018 Soul Tarot reading. It's wonderful to be here with you. As I've been doing for a while, requested by my spirit guides, I start with the image of the cards to illustrate the energy pattern, Spirit is saying, that's coming through for you for this reading for this month. And I am very eager to speak with you. This month, Spirit has asked me, to record the videos in cohort groupings. The earth signs came out first, and then Spirit asked me to attend to the fire sign folks, and I am among that group because I have Aries rising. So, I always forget to say this. I'm trying to be more disciplined. For those of you who are new or who don't know, I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck developed by Caitlin Matthews. It's a really gorgeous deck. If you want any type of a reading or healing services, or you want to visit Moonrise Cottage, that is going to be opening up going forward, go to my website. I am now putting I think they call them cards. Anyways, you'll be able to click. You'll see the icon on the video. Just click on it. Please subscribe. Please share the videos. Please like the videos. I guess in YouTube land that stuff makes a difference, so I'd appreciate it very much. Spirit says, I'd appreciate it very much. Interesting. So this month, we have so much. Spirit's talking about the heart chakra energy and fire energy. One of the things that's going to happen this month is that there is going to be a Jupiter-Neptune trine all month. So it's about the bounty of Jupiter and the depth with which we feel our soul journey. Neptune is about the sort of the dreamy part of deep intuition and what we can imagine, and we see that card here. Before I jump into this reading, Spirit wants me to show you how deeply you are at what a Spirit is calling a fulcrum point as part of the fire sign bandwidth. Spirit saying band. I think bandwidth, there's a pattern of energy on the flow of your individual energy signature, but very definitely as a Sag. Now that Uranus has transit into Taurus for quite a long stay, I think until 2026, amazing things are happening. One of the things that Spirit is talking about is the perfect illustration of this event in Taurus is very different than the last time Uranus transited into Aries, a fire sign. The day of that transit in 2011 was literally the day that the Fukushima meltdown happened and all the carnage that happened after that. So that's the type of shocking Uranus energy, the shocking events that can unfold. However, this time we saw a wedding, a royal wedding. And look at the card right in the center. And Spirit says that is a perfect description of what has just happened and the profound shift and change. Spirit says, that was an unfolding to help us all understand the type of the fire of love energy, the beautiful stream of the Uranus energy, the vibration, the very high vibration of creation and the sun. And look at the cards in this reading. So, if you're not someone who watched the events that unfolded during that beautiful wedding, Spirit says, it was shocking to some members of the royal family. It was shocking to the world that a mixed race woman would bring herself to her wedding and walk up the steps unaccompanied in her full power into the life that was her destiny. the poetic nuances of all the things that happened. Really beautiful. And again, look, it's right in the center. It's right where you are, Sag. We've been talking about your journey. Spirit's referencing back to last year and the types of battles that you've been going through as a sacred warrior with a fire signature. It's a lot. And if you're new and you haven't seen, Spirit's saying, go back to last year and look at the videos that came out over the summer around the time of the eclipses. And then hopscotch forward and look at the videos about the winter solstice and the things that happened, the messages that came out for you at the passage tomb at Douth when I was in Ireland. Phenomenal. So there's a lot of chatter coming through about that. I'm going to leave it there, okay? But you know, when the change that's coming is a changing, Spirit saying, changing of the guard, change of tradition, cracking open that which is possible, and bringing forward massive representations of shift and change through this royal couple here to the earthly realm. And said, you're right in the middle, literally, of that. So I'm going to do a real brief review because I want you to have the benefit of seeing what this journey's been like. And, you know, the way these readings go forward, they are connected month to month. Spirit is always telling the story. And a lot of the nuances are even, you know, I try to keep it to 30 minutes. It's really hard. But because of that, some of the nuances are only visible through hindsight. So look at that. Those are the cards having come through the winter solstice. All right, on into January. This is February. We see you going very deep into the sacred realm, into the mystical place, in order to have a healing and continue the notion of being a student under the light of the King of Battle, a mystical figure who actually did exist. And I actually was just reading last night something about this figure in history. And basically, he lost his hand in a battle. And he had to go deep into the mystical realm to have a healing. And the card that is sitting on the outside, the woman of skill, there to bring this healing to him out of the mystical realm. She is picking herbs and healings from the bones of her brother, who was the man that allowed the king to regrow his hand. So we see you in the center, in this beautiful placement of being a student, coming to a new sacred foundation of spiritual arts, plunging deep into the realm inhabited by the King of Battle. And on the other side of this center row, which is the core of the reading, of course that brings a new life. If you look at the human realm, we see a release, we see the slumber, and we see you being released into the light in order to take this journey and activate your will to go forward. On the top row, we see the beautiful goddess who is Spirit says it's a form of the high priestess. She brings forward prophecy about the realm of kings and the lineage of kings. That is the revelation of art. And there you arrive to begin again. And right next to her, we see the notion of fire. That is the king of knowledge. Okay, so that's February. Here's March. Do you see, Spirit's calling it the Ascension card, the elopement of skill, on the bottom left, alerting you to the deepening of your human journey and the fact that you are coming into alignment with the energy of the sun to be a touchstone for yourself and continue your study as a student, very deep in the mystical realm. We see on the center row, on the left, your soul journey continues, and you are in the moments just before you put your hands on the sword of victory. A lot of purity of intention. And to the right of that, that's the final card in the major arcana of this deck. It's really gorgeous. That is the perfecter of energy. And the outcome card sitting next to it, there you are, standing in the light of the sun, a sacred warrior. And you can't tell by this illustration, but his sword touches the sacred spiral of destiny. And there on the top spirit row, we see another indication of a young warrior having been transformed. That is a prophecy about what is unfolding and the skills and the abilities coming forward and back into the mystical realm. And there is the beautiful revelation of art. It's really astounding to me how these things come forward. So we move then into April and we see the energy deepening. There's the moon card right in the center, and you next to it, that prophecy that we saw last month, the augury of skill, the deepening of your firepower, now sitting next to the king of knowledge, who also has a fire. On the bottom row, it's all about coming into your strength because you have stepped through a rite of passage. You are stepping into your destiny, that which is going to be revealed. On the top row, we see the King of Art. In the mystical realm, standing in the light, and you standing next to him, still deep in your spirit student mode, but beginning to arrive into the land of the sun, the sacred energy. And the outcome card speaks to how that transition will evolve, because that is the liberator of devotion. You must go through the portal. That was the mission that you were on. It's astounding to me. And here we have the cards for May. Very deep. So, you've been going in and out of the mystical realm. Deep in last month. Really deep. The outcome card finally brings you to the moment where you stand before the high priestess at the gateway. She is the guardian of the gateway and the guardian of truth. And you must stand in that place and ask permission to cross. And you've been prepared in a way that is really profound. You and your human realm have been balancing your energy, bringing yourself into the realm of the keeper of harmony. And that prophecy that we see on the bottom row. So look at the center column. A prophecy about the beginning of the artistic way of coming forward. You are bringing your desires out of the sacred cauldron. And look at the coloration of the card. In the light of the sun. And above that, that is the woman of skill. In the position that represents you in the month of May. Literally holding the spool of destiny in your hands. And above that, we see the sacred warrior. The warrior of skill. Who responds to the sacred impulse that you generate and is able to move that forward to bring you to the gateway so that your destiny the Spirit's calling it, in the days of Uranus can come forward. And so here we are in June. It's startlingly, poetically beautiful to me as a reader to see this destiny come forward. And so right over the top, we see the beautiful revelation of art. Spirit wants to speak directly to you about the prophecy of your own destiny. Look at that. And there she has her beautiful barrel, jewel-encrusted barrel of water, right? Life energy, love, vibrancy, Spirit says. Look at all the passion. Coming from the heart chakra, pouring into a bowl. She is highly activated. And sadly, you can't tell from this illustration, but in mythology, she sits in a crystal throne. And her power, her purpose, her destiny was to be able to name the sacred lineage of kings. And this sits over the top of your reading as the message, the theme from the spirit realm, the thing that my guides want to speak with you about this month, the revelation of the sacred arts, of which you've been a student. And because of that dedication, Sag, You have reached your ascension moment. And it's really interesting that this ascension, if you will, has everything to do with love energy. So, those of you who are new that don't know, this is a story about a sacred couple. The female part of this couple had to go through a literal sort of life, death, life process. There was a spell cast upon them to keep them apart, and she had to change in order to be able to bond herself with her lover. They were in a banquet hall, and this process took place, all in a moment. When it finally started, Spirit says, just like the arrival of Uranus and that shocking shift and change, when the light comes into a situation and shift and change happens. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's difficult. There are some things going on here I've been sharing with all the fire sign people, because I'm Aries rising. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's been shocking in my life at the end of the reading. If you want to stay for it, you can. If not, you can move on, okay? So, all the things haven't been said about the royal couple. What it means for the world to come into that place. And this incredibly young woman, that Spirit's saying, that is the representation of what this prophecy, this revelation, is bringing forward. It is that type of shift and change that we are going to experience, and you have the added benefit of having this gorgeous trine all month between Jupiter and Neptune. So look at the card. Let's for a minute, because that's where Spirit's directing me. Look at the right-hand column, vertical column. On the human realm, you are standing on the sacred, Spirit saying, tradition. It's a foundation card. The card that we saw in the month of, I think it was April. Yep, there it is. Let me show you. All right, look at the middle card in the top row. That is you being a student of the sacred arts. That is the foundation of art. Working your magic, Spirit says, sandwiched between the King of Art and a major arcana card, the protector of lore, the energy of the sun. That was your soul journey. Being protected while you go really deep into the mystical realm. And here you are in June. It's phenomenal. The elopement of that skill set has been released into the world. And you can take it deeper this month because of the trine between Jupiter and Neptune. And we see that on the card above the revelation of art. The beautiful goddess. The namer of the seer of the lineage. And you are in the middle of that. It's astounding to me. So the next card, of course, after we see the beautiful elopement of the skill, the fire, the pure energy of the sun, which is what Uranus represents, coming into the realm of love in your human experience. It's so profoundly beautiful to me. I'm overjoyed. And last year when I was doing readings during the time of the eclipse, Spirit was talking about all the stuff that was coming forward, and I had inklings, but never would I have imagined it to be demonstrated to us here on the earth, with Uranus stationing in an earth sign in order to liberate us all in this way. And of course, as we would expect, given everything that's come before this moment, that's the first card on the human walk for you this month. There you are, standing in the full light, the energy stream of Uranus, having come across the waters and having had the stamina for the long journey. That's the elk medicine. There's the warrior. We've been talking about you as a warrior. Spirit's referencing last year, and I cannot remember exactly what month it was. There was a card that came up having to do with the type of battles you were doing and how much sadness and grief that it was bringing to you. And it was about being locked in battle. This card is about a warrior who has been the sole survivor of an epic battle. He lived a long time, and eventually he began a shapeshift right in his human existence. So, this is the second revelation card in this reading. That in itself is very impactful. We have the revelation of art, she who names the lineage, and then we see you in the moment that knowledge is revealed to you because you have shapeshifted and come across this journey. And look, it's always backwards. See that? There's the sacred spiral. Another reflection of the sun, in a sense, Spirit says. Standing next to that is the sacred mother, that is the shaper of growth, the way in which your growth will continue under these aspects in the full power of your fire energy. The shaper of growth is the sacred mother who creates the pathway, Spirit says, shepherding souls across between the realms to arrive here for the life that they are destined to receive. It's really beautiful. And she gives to them all the bounty that they need to have the experiences that they are meant to have as a soul journeying on the human realm. Quite beautiful. And the place into which you arrive as a result of the type of growth that you are destined for, that we have seen in the cards that have come out already, a new foundation, one you have studied toward in the mystical realm for many months. The foundation of knowledge, of course. Beautiful, fertile moment of shift and change and growth and destiny. This beautiful young woman standing with the triple deities far out in the universe. That is the energy that you carry across the earth, Spirit says, in these days, beginning in this month of June, which is a fulcrum for the shift and change that is going forward. This very new place, because of the arrival of Uranus into the aspect of sacred love energy. The beautiful Queen of Skill here to help you transition. The bridge card. Look, there you are, Sag. Look at that. Deeply arriving from the mystical realm and being cherished because of what you bring. And the blue blanket, complete transformation. There we see the key to a new life. And you see the horses. It's one of the things I love about this card. It's about the energy to go forward. There's a reflection of the Chariot card in this card. The Queen of Skill receives you as a blessed event. This card is in the position of the bridge card, that which ties your human walk to your spirit development. So the first card, of course, above that is a new courtship. That is the courtship of skill. And so here we see you, lion-hearted in the full light of the sun, having been transformed and prepared for new growth. So the male aspect of this energy has been transformed, which, I've been chattering about that. Getting corrected, Spirit says. I've been chattering about that. Okay, so I'm just the mouthpiece, okay? Spirit has been talking about this. The yin and yang, and the type of development that has to happen in both the female, the sacred feminine energy, the return of the goddess, and the sacred male, who has to be able to receive her. And that's what that royal wedding story is about. Spirit is just really wants you to look deep. Go to YouTube and look at the videos that have to do with that. Watch the sermon, Spirit says. Watch that woman walk into that church. And what's interesting about that also, Spirit saying is, she got out of the car. She walked up the steps. She intentionally walked herself into the church in the full light of her power. That alone brought a monumental change to the earth realm, Spirit says. And then as she got into the church, she was actually received and walked the rest of the way by the heir to the throne. That has never been possible before this moment. And that is why we see this card in order to illustrate this discussion. A new courtship, a very skillful place, very new. There's a lot to be discovered, but in the lion-hearted energy of the sun, she is ready for new growth. I've been talking about the return of the goddess since I came to YouTube. And the way the yin and yang is so important. Both energies have to transform in order to bring forward that which is our destiny. And the moment has arrived. Literally. They have vessels at their backs. There is much to be revealed. And they know. Look at the way they're looking at each other, right? They know. It's a new courtship. A courtship of skill. And the type of skill that we're talking about. Having come to a new shore. Okay, let me switch back. Look at the left side column. Look at the new shore that you're standing on in the human realm and in the spirit realm. That is the place that your soul takes up. The intention that we see playing out on the earth, and Spirit says vice versa. That is the reflection. Spirit saying, as above, so below. And of course, the very next card, there's the sun, and there you are, having been transformed, standing in the full light of the solar energy, the Uranus stream of energy that comes from the sun. And the apples signify the abundance and the growth and the shift and the change. And you have done this standing on the sacred ground of the ancients. All that work, right? All the stuff I talked about, all the illustrations of the months that came before this, you have arrived into this place. This is a major arcana card. It is the protector of sacred lore. And there's the spiral of destiny. Sag. Spirit is so happy with you and happy for you. What comes after that? Because of Neptune this month, the trine between Jupiter and Neptune. Sailing deeper still into the watery world of Neptune. This is a sacred vessel, and those who sit in it and put their hands on the oars can arrive any place they'd like to go. Your intuition, your connection to the deep spiritual realm, very activated this month. Take time at the full moon. Have a little ceremony for yourself. Say some prayers, light some candles, whatever your tradition is, whatever you do. Go out and look at the moon if you have the ability to do that. And sit in the light of the moon, if possible. Go out into the country where the light pollution is not quite so intense, if you can. Okay? Otherwise, just do what you can do to connect with this energy. You may have some dreaming. Intuition, that part of you, very activated. And you know what? You've worked really hard for that. So enjoy it. That's a major arcana card. That is the imaginer of harmony. And given the fact that this whole reading has been about the light of the sun, the stream of energy that is Uranus, having affected the earthly realm in the way of bringing forward harmony, you go deeper still. It's going to be really awesome. I cannot wait to hear from you. Please tell me on the thread below the video what's going on. Sag, I want to hear the story. It's amazing, okay? And Spirit says, and God bless you, because wow, look what you're bringing forward. Your energy, right? That's why Spirit always says, don't ever doubt that you are your purpose. You might work as a car mechanic. I still work as a nurse. That doesn't matter. You got to do your life. We're humans. We have to have money, right? Those things roll forward. There is a deeper process going on, and you carry the energy into this world that brings that forward. Always honor yourself. So the outcome, of course, I love this, a major arcana card, all right? This is about you becoming the counselor of truth in your own life. Look at how far you've traveled. Look at the beard. I love it. And standing again in the full light of the sun, right? Standing in yourself. The thing that was just streaming through me, okay? That Spirit wants to talk to you about your purpose, who you are. No, never doubt. And walk through this life in this way. So, this is the outcome. It is also a little bit of prophecy about what's going to happen next month. Because next month, I think, we're going to be in eclipse season. I can't wait for that. Given what's going on this month, I just have so much anticipation going on inside of me. So, such an amazing story. Beautiful, shocking, unanticipated unfoldings that bring you into the aspect of the counselor of truth that resides within you. It's gorgeous. Okay, so that's the end of the reading. Okay, for now. So, anybody who's been here, thank you so much. It's wonderful to have you. I'm going to tell you my little story just as an illustration and maybe some encouragement for you going forward. So let's see, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago, I've been through, it's been a really intense time here. I'm very married to the earth. I'm very much a Virgo. And the fire aspect of me, of my energy pattern, that's what I meet the world with, in a sense. It's what the fire that drives my purpose forward. So I've been feeling all of those things in so many ways. And I've been starting to feel, I felt the energy of the desire of being released. And it started to torture me. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. You know, the butterfly came here. We had this whole thing about transformation. Spirit's been talking about it for a long time in order to prepare for that which is to come, to make us agile and able to fly, right? Navigate through the shift and change of the energy. Even in the middle of a vicious storm, we can do it. That was part of the message. So I'm having this upheaval, and I'm thinking, I'm going to sell Moonrise Cottage. I don't want to be tethered here anymore. It's too hard to be a homeowner under the conditions that I exist in. It's just blah, 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 right? Wallowing in some of my own stuff. Then I got really sick. I was intensely sick for 2 weeks. But actually, yeah, intensely sick for 2 weeks, and then it's been another almost 4 weeks. I'm still not completely repaired. Mostly. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. So all of these feelings are coming up. And in the middle of the intensity of the illness, I started to have some prophetic dreams come through about what is meant to happen here. And, you know, I was so grateful that things are going forward in a positive way because I really was tortured on the inside. I had a lot of prophetic dreams over the course of my lifetime that led me to this place for this purpose, in part. And it's a little hard to describe without going on for an hour, but in any event, once I started building Moonrise Cottage, after 2014, 2015, I'd say, those dreams stopped. And my YouTube channel started, I think, in the beginning of 2016. And so for me, it's a little weird to not have those kinds of dreams because part of me lives way far out, you know, in the mystical realm. And there was just quiet, a lot of quiet. I think to allow this to evolve because it's part of my process. I started to get a little agitated on the inside, like I was saying. So finally, out of that comes this prophetic dream. And I begin to realize that what I'm feeling so agitated, deep down, agitation, you know, so, like a seed. Spirit says like a seed, pushing up, trying to pop through. That's what it was like. I didn't realize it in the moment. So I have this dream. The next thing I know, I'm rededicating myself because I realize there's more that's supposed to happen here. I've kind of known for a while, but I was not having clarity. Now, I am in the middle of preparing to cut down some sacred trees that have been with me since long before Moonrise Cottage. Well, Moon Spirit saying when Moonrise Cottage was just a glimmer in my psyche and in my heart. I used to come here when it was just woods and there was no road, there was no driveway, there was nothing. And I would hike up the hill and sit here with in the middle of this copse of beautiful trees, 80-foot pines. And I got to know them really well. And I spoke to them and they spoke to me. There was a lot of energy streaming back and forth. And so when the house came up, I vowed that I would never cut them down because they're such an active part of what helped me bring this place into existence. Well, here we are, 20 some years later. I now have this vision. It's time for me to open Moonrise Cottage so people can come here for their own ceremonies in order to be in a place that they resonate with because of everything that's unfolding. And, be in the presence of somebody with whom they can say whatever they want. I get it. I understand your journey in a certain way. Guess what? Got to cut the trees down in order to bring the light of the sun into the property because they block it. So I've been living here like a silly little purist hermit, refusing to cut these trees for 20 years because they are my people. They're my family. They helped me bring this place into being. So the tragedy of I had to make the decision to cut them down. And it's breaking my heart in a sense for all the reasons you can imagine. And yet, the purpose is to bring the full light of the sun onto this property, to bring abundance, to create the pathway, the energy pathway, and the literal energy that I need in order to host visitors here. The other thing that I've come to realize that the trees are ready to go. They're okay with it, in a sense. They understand, and what I've been told, or what I've intuited, I guess, however you want to look at it, is that they have been sending the energy skyward because they kind of stand alone in a certain spot. They're majestical to behold. That's how it feels to me. And there's a lot of life going on in those treetops, which brings me a lot of joy. The hawks come and sit there and gaze over the top of the house. The crows come and talk to me in the morning. Gosh, I don't want them to go. However, they actually are growing up from a huge vein of quartz, and there are giant quartz boulders that have been hidden. And that's why they stand there, because they've been transmitting that energy from the earth to the sky, a representation of the energy that flows through the property. And so the moment has come. It's shocking to me because I literally vowed that I would never do it. And here I am. So, like the sacred couple, in the moment that Spirit talks about your energy this month, there are things that are being revealed that are really important. And it is the energy of the sun. Spirit's talking about the flow of Uranus energy. I haven't found the human words yet to describe that, so maybe I'll do a live stream about that. I'm sort of waiting for the translation to come to me. So the way that energy comes and the information comes flowing into me, I have to actually translate it sometimes. So I understand in the mystical realm because I feel the energy, I feel the message, and I get it, but I can't figure out how to say it in English yet. So it has to do with the literal type of flow and the type of energy that Uranus is bringing to us. So I think that's it. That's long enough for me to chat over. That's what's going on for me. So tell me, where are you at, Sag? I want to hear the details in your life because I find this shockingly phenomenal. And, I'm grieving. And I'm really joyful all at the same time because sometimes things have to fall away in order for the energy to rise and go forward. So thanks for all that you're doing. Thanks for the sacred purpose that you embody, Sag. I'm going to switch back to the cards just to, give you another few seconds to gaze into them. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just sending you all my love and my thanks and my support. I'll see you in eclipse season in July.